Charles Darwin believed that the power of creating and appreciating music must have existed in humankind long before we evolved the power of speech. Perhaps that's why we're so influenced by it. It affects our emotions, it makes us feel things. The oldest instruments were probably the simplest. Two objects, bones or stones or bits of wood hit together in the course of day-to-day life, led to rhythms that helped people work. Think of the sea shanties sung by sailors to help them pull on ropes in unison. Think of the haunting songs sung by enslaved people working in the fields. Music has always had the ability to keep our spirits up and to bring us together so that we feel like a team. Even in the darkest of times. From then, we probably started to add voice sounds, words, or just noises that expressed how we felt. Over the millennia, as our ability to speak increased and we were able to make more and more complex sounds, we will have begun to sing and use our voices in more complicated and intricate ways. And that's where music really comes into its own. It becomes a way to tell stories, to pass on ideas, to bring a tribe of people together and create what we might begin to call a culture. A feeling of belonging that can keep people going through the toughest of times. There was probably also an element of magic. Cave bears seem to have been quite special to Neanderthals, and they preferred to use the bones of cave bears to create their musical instruments. There are a couple of examples of flutes known, one made from a cave bear jawbone and one made from the ulna of a young cave bear. When our own species reached Europe, we began to use bird bones, birds like swans and cranes and eagles, which even now have a special significance. Even mammoth tusk was used, which is a very difficult task, hollowing out two perfectly matched pieces so that they'll fit together. Probably there were many more flutes made of wood and things which just haven't survived. But the ones that have survived are so beautiful, and the sounds they make so evocative and haunting that it gives us a wonderful taste of the music of the Stone Age. You can imagine that for the people who shaped those flutes, drawing sound from the bones of such a special animal would have been like hearing its voice from the afterlife, like hearing its voice from another world. Played in the deep, dark caves where people went to create their paintings and commune with whatever spirits or gods they believed in, the sounds become amplified and changed. They echo as though the empty space is speaking back to you. In parts of the world where people still forage for their food, they sometimes have songs for specific plants and resources. Songs which almost act as a prayer to that resource, saying thank you as they go to pick it, asking for luck in finding what they seek. I wonder what songs we would have had. Did we have a burdock song or a blackberry song or a reed mace song as we tramped through the marshes to get at the carbohydrate-rich roots? Although we have a name for the language that those ancient people spoke, it's hard to know what it would have sounded like, but we can guess. And perhaps there are remnants of that long ago sound in folk music that survives into modern times. Folk music that varies from place to place and which often has a very specific sound depending on the region. Our own folk music has been influenced by so many different cultures over the millennia that it's quite hard to know what it would have sounded like 30,000 years ago. But it's quite fun to guess.